Hi, everybody. Welcome to Matt and John Make a Podcast. My name is Matt.
And my name is John.
And we're just two good friends talking about everything and anything we find interesting. And on today's show, we're going to talk about Marvel at San Diego Comic-Con and other things that are happening at Comic-Con. And in the world of professional wrestling, we're going to talk about AEW and WWE. So let's talk about some Comic-Con. John, up first in your notes, we have Marvel. That's the big thing everybody's taken away from this. Mm-hmm. The first thing you have here is we have a new Thor movie coming out.
Yep.
Called Thor 4 Love and Thunder.
Yep. And
we have a female Thor, or just Thor, played by Natalie Portman. What do you think about that? I like it. It makes sense. It should be good. She's a good actress.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to criticize Kevin Feige and his castings. He hasn't really given me a reason to be concerned. The only casting that I am not particularly crazy about would obviously be Captain Marvel, but yeah. So
I didn't mind her. I didn't mind her in the movie.
It's like I like the character. It's just her. She just comes off very. What's the word? I'm not sure if it's like smug or just very. I can't really describe it, but there's just something about her that just kind of annoys me to a certain.
When you're like the most powerful good guy, good person in the universe, I think you can be smug a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, and I'm not sure that even if smug is the right term to describe her, but yeah. But getting back onto Natalie Portman, I'm very interested to see her as a potential female Thor in the Marvel What Ifs series. That should be really interesting. And there's so much content that they are running through what Kevin Feige is calling on Phase 4. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, like you have Thor, you have Doctor Strange. Good. You have Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Hawkeye. Like, there's just so much stuff that is being rolled out, and with the Disney app coming, I believe, in November.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, which I cannot wait for. So like I'm very excited.
Take my money, Disney.
Yeah, exactly. Just take my money. Just a lot of fun stuff to be excited about.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I don't want to say I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of comic books and Marvel and those movies, but a lot of the stuff from the comic books, I'm not that caught up in. So I'm going to ask this question, and if anybody's watching, might like start yelling at their computer screen or whatever. But Natalie Portman's character in the Thors was Thor's love interest.
Yeah.
In the comic books, is that how she turns in? Like, is the female Thor was the former love interest? Is that just how it's going to happen?
I can't 100% say this. I definitely have a few friends on Twitter who could probably better answer that, honestly.
Post it in the comments, because I feel stupid.
I can't really say because even though I have read up on a lot of stories, whether it's from Marvel or DC, that one I am not 100% sure about. It could be. It wouldn't surprise me. Because just you figure that with Marvel they've had so many back and side stories with all of these characters. So
right.
I would like to think so.
Did they have they didn't have a release date for that, did they?
No.
It's here 2021.
Yeah, like
it's in 2 years.
Yeah, like with pretty much everything regarding this, everything is like in either spring of
Yeah.
2021 or fall of 2021. So it's basically approximating like
Right.
these.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I wanted to also talk about was the big announcement that Kevin Feige is bringing back the Blade series, which was formerly played by in
Wesley
the late
Snipes.
in the late 90s, and for the longest time Wesley Snipes has been trying to get another Blade film done, but it turns out that it's being casted by the actor who played Cottonmouth on season 1 of Luke Cage, who was a tremendous actor, and I'm trying to find who this guy's name was. I wrote down here somewhere.
Mahershala Ali.
Yeah.
I probably butchered that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And he recently just won an Oscar, and supposedly when he was at the Oscars, he was talking in an interview that he wanted to have a face-to-face meeting with Kevin Feige of Marvel, and basically Kevin Feige said, "Oh yeah, we'll definitely sit down and talk." And sure enough, last Saturday at Comic-Con, they come out and they announce that he is indeed going to be playing as Blade. So I'm very excited, but it looks like that will not be released until Phase 5, which would not be for at least another 2 or 3 years.
I think at least 3 years.
Yeah.
On that low end.
So this is definitely way down on the pike there, but a very very exciting time for them to be bringing back that character, and I'm assuming that he's going to be involved with the other characters in the MCU. So I mean, like,
he wants that payday.
Oh, absolutely.
He wants that
and
Marvel payday.
Like if you're a big time actor, you want to get in the MCU because
look what happened to Robert Downey Jr.
Exactly.
He was
his career was.
I mean, he was there. He had Sherlock Holmes.
Well, and two, he had that whole history with his drug issues,
with his demons,
with his demons, and him playing Iron Man just completely just rejuvenated his whole entire acting career. I mean, and
with 10 years of just making
masterpieces,
making millions for Marvel at the box office.
Yep.
Okay, moving on, we got Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness in spring 2021. This was announced as Marvel's first, like, what would they say, scary movie-ish type.
More of them dealing with the supernatural side of the MCU, because honestly, we like really haven't seen all that much. We've like seen things here and there, but now with Doctor Strange, with Scarlet Witch, with Blade also coming in, we're gonna be seeing more of the supernatural side of the MCU, of the Marvel franchise.
Yeah, I'm interested to see that, what they mean by like suspense. Maybe it was suspense or scary. I forget what word it was. So forgive me on that. Yeah. But that should be interesting. I love the first Doctor Strange film.
Yep.
Like a lot of these
visually,
yes,
it was just
impressive,
it was incredible.
Like a lot of these Marvel characters before the MCU, never really heard of, besides like Spider-Man, like the obvious.
Spider-Man,
Captain America to a certain extent, but it was
Iron
always to me it was not as much. It's always Batman and Spider-Man, Superman and Spider-Man. At least me growing up.
Yeah, like for me, I grew up in the 90s on Spider-Man, on X-Men, on Batman, on Superman.
I knew a couple of X-Men.
Like those were, and two, I was a really big Justice League fan.
Yeah.
So like,
in the cartoon, yeah.
So like, I saw all of those films. I mean, as a kid, like even watching series such as like Static Shock or Batman Beyond.
I saw that one.
Yeah, which that was such an underrated series to me. Like I was always fascinated by the Terry McGinnis character and his involvement with very old Bruce Wayne. So that was such an interesting dynamic there.
Yeah, that was good. And thanks to MCU, I think I don't want to speak for everybody. I think it opened up everybody's eyes who's not reading the comics to see all these different characters. There's so many different characters that I didn't even know about, like Doctor Strange or Thor to an extent.
And the most important character of them all, Deadpool.
Yes.
Deadpool.
Yes.
And by far the perfect casting.
Burt Reynolds? No.
Ryan Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds. What the hell was that? Excuse me, Ryan.
They could not have found a bigger a-hole, a bigger douche, to say the least, who could perfectly portray that character. Like me, Matt, and my friend Phil, like we go and we go and see all of these, and by far one of our most enjoyable times was definitely seeing the first Deadpool movie. We were in tears for literally a good 75 to 80% of that film. Like just
and the subtle hints they put in the movie and
how they just bury like everything, whether it's in the MCU, whether it's the god awful, one of the worst superhero movies that ever happened in Green Lantern. Like they poke so much fun at that, and it was perfect.
Yeah. Let's move on here because we have a lot to talk about from Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
Believe coming to Disney Plus is the Loki series, spring 2021. And I believe I read this is going to follow the Loki that disappeared. Spoilers, by the way, if you haven't seen Endgame, shame on you. The Loki that left
it's July 26th. If you have not, then
there's a lot of films I haven't seen.
I've seen them all.
I mean, just in general.
Oh,
not Marvel, but still. Anywho, the Loki that went in the multiverse that escaped with the Tesseract, and I couldn't think of the right term. So that should be interesting how they play off of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's much more information about that show.
No,
just the announcement.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing with that, and also Falcon and Winter Soldier 2. I would assume that this is taking place right after Captain America shows up as old Captain America.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
I get a look on that,
and
that's coming later this year, probably.
Or no, fall of 2020.
It is not 2020. It is, in fact, 2019, ladies and gentlemen. If you didn't know that,
fall of 2020.
I hope this is water. Hawkeye.
I'm very intrigued to see, and I believe, I'm not sure if that's going to be a film or
I think this
or
is
an actual series on the Disney.
I'm not.
App there. I want to say that that's going to be a series.
I feel like it's gonna. I feel like all of them would be a series. We have the Black Widow, which would be a prequel to everything. Yeah. But showing scenes from previous Avengers movies in it, and we're gonna learn about her past. I think that's the soonest one that's coming out this. Soon, next year.
Yeah, that's, I believe. Yeah, this thing is so damn small that I can't read it, but it's the first of the franchise of going into Phase 4 of the MCU.
We have Black Panther 2 confirmed.
Yep.
and Into the Spider-Verse 2 confirmed.
Which if it's anything
like the first one,
I mean, like, we're in for a real treat. That is arguably one of the best animated films I have. I've ever
that really
seen.
impressed me. Going into it,
especially
I was like,
especially too for like Marvel, they really have not put out really good animated stuff in a very long time. That is mainly DC's thing, where they just they hit home runs. I'm talking specifically of like Justice League, Son of Batman, and pretty much all of those anime Batman films, but and even Young Justice on the DC app, like, they're just really well done. But like this, like, I was shocked at how well that the critics were just raving about this thing. So I was like, okay, yeah, it is rated PG, but I mean, if they are raving this much about it, we have to go see it. And I left there not disappointed. Just the whole story
visually was good.
Visually, it was really well done, and just detailing the whole origin story of Miles Morales, who dealing with his upbringing and dealing with his family, dealing with the other Spider-Men from the other universes, seeing Peter Parker die right in front of him, like, it was just incredible.
My favorite Spider-Man was Nicolas Cage's like noir Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I found that was the most entertaining Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. It was a much different Spider-Man. I liked it. It was a Spider-Man.
I want more of it.
Like, his character reminded me a lot of Thor, and
Ragnarok,
or no, of Thor and Avengers Endgame, where, like, he was just mentally just broken. Like,
oh yeah, okay,
because in, like, his universe, he Mary Jane broke up with him, and just, like, had just given up on, like, life and was just content on just dying pretty much.
Yeah, I could see. Yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, we got WandaVision, spring 2021, about Scarlet Witch,
which that should be really good. I'm very interested.
Like, all these movies so far are just like, yes, I want to see.
I mean, like, the MCU has not given me a single reason why I shouldn't be excited for anything that they are
or do
dropping.
I want to go and see?
Like, even for smaller films such as Ant-Man and Captain Marvel,
they were still good.
They were still good. It's just like, we just hold such a higher standard to these films because they are so great.
And they're just knocking, throwing haymakers at DC.
Yeah.
DC has no idea what.
Although I will say for DC, their last 3 films have been pretty darn good. Between Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Shazam were both really good films. Ever since that Zack Snyder left, and it's been all uphill from there. And I believe that Wonder Woman comes out, I believe, sometime in 2020, which that pins Wonder Woman in the 1980s. So that should be very, very interesting.
Moving on, Titan Season 2 dropping on September 6th.
Yes.
You watched it. I think I haven't watched it yet.
Season 1, it's a very dark series. It's a very, very dark series. It's rated R. It was only 10 episodes. I personally really liked it. Some people had some criticisms about that, but I personally did not have a problem with the series. It's just basically, it's Dick Grayson is basically on his own. This is like pretty much on his arc from going from as Robin on his way to becoming Nightwing and forming the Teen Titans with Starfire, Beast Boy, and Raven there.
Moving on, we have Fourth season of Young Justice confirmed.
Yeah,
Another one I really haven't watched.
Yeah,
There's too much stuff to
yeah.
watch.
That is an animated series. They are just finishing up season 3, or yeah, I believe season 3 now. So I believe there's maybe 6 or 7 episodes left. There is probably more, but yeah, they are finishing up that. It's been a really good series. It was originally on Cartoon Network for the first two seasons, and then it got canceled, and the internet just was pissed. Like they said, why did you cancel this? Like, they wanted this show back so bad, and
Right.
and when the DC app rolled out, that was one of the things that they brought back was Young Justice, but this time it's more adult content, whereas for the first 2 seasons it was strictly more more PG. But,
Right.
But now obviously, I mean, like, they were showing blood and everything when they rolled out this on the DC app.
And Avengers Endgame officially breaks all box office records of Avatar 2009.
Yep. I was not shocked about this. It was just a matter of time.
Now I'm confused here because I'm on boxofficemojo.com, and I can throw this up, which it's already up. It has Star Wars: The Force Awakens for domestic gross.
Well, like, I think they are also talking worldwide.
Is it worldwide?
Yeah.
Not domestic.
Yeah,
worldwide. Let me pull that up again. But domestic gross, Star Wars: Force Awakens is number 1 at 936 million 662,225. Now, let me go international, don't want to do that. But let's go all time. Just looking for. Shoot. Give me 2 seconds. Okay. Yeah. Worldwide. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's beaten Avatar. We should put this up here. Beaten Avatar, and is now in first place. It has 2.902 billion. Avatar is in second, followed by Titanic. Fourth, Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and 5, Infinity War. And you can see the rest down there. Now, the one thing I think everybody wants to throw a wrench into this is that if you adjust for inflation, I don't think this movie is even in the top 5, at least in domestic, because I don't think they can. You can't. I don't know if you can include everything else, but if you go adjust domestically for ticket inflation, Gone with the Wind is still up top with 1,822,592,200, and it came out in 1939. So here's the top 5: Gone with the Wind, Star Wars, The Sound of Music, E.T., Titanic, The Ten Commandments, Jaws, Dr. Zhivago, I think I'm pronouncing that right, The Exorcist. I say top 5, I'm going top 10. And not top 10, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Now, are those updated? Are you sure that those are updated?
That is updated. That's okay. For adjusted for ticket inflation. Because Gone with the Wind came in 1939. Star Wars, the original, came in 1977. Sound of Music, 1965. E.T., 1982. Titanic, 1997. Pretty much everything's come out around the 70s, and 60s, except with Gone with the Wind in the 30s, some E.T. in the 80s, and Titanic in 97. The most recent one that comes close, just out of the top 10, is The Force Awakens at number 11 with 974 million, and that was in 2015. 101 Dalmatians in 1961's there. Empire Strikes Back, and then Avatar. If you adjust for inflation, from 2009 to 10 years ago, it beats Endgame by about 20 million. If you really adjust for inflation. So if you really get technical, Avatar really didn't beat it, but just pure money.
Which is what it's.
Yeah,
being.
Just imagine. And then Gone with the Wind has been re-released. Star Wars has been released, but still, that's a lot of money if you just.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's the numbers. The numbers there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to the next subject we have. Is that the official statement for Phase 4 includes, like we talked about, Black Widow in 2020, Internals 2020, Shang-Chi in 2021, second Doctor Strange in 2021, and the fourth Thor in 2021. And I did mention that we have a new Fantastic Four early development.
Yep.
Do you think this one's actually going to be good?
Yes. Just like I said, Kevin Feige has not given me a single reason why I should doubt him. I think we will finally get a Fantastic Four film that we have been wanting for so long, because every single one has just been a colossal failure. Both from a fan perspective and obviously from a business perspective.
Yep.
has just never ever lived up to the expectations.
Yeah, and I haven't seen them, and apparently I made the good choice. Again, Black Panther 2, confirmed. Blade, Captain Marvel 2, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and another X-Men are going to be and get involved since they're under the Marvel name now, which I'm interested to see how that goes. I think X-Men movies now have been good, but there's been some disappointment in some of them, to say the least. So
a lot of them have been really hit and really miss. Like the past, or like the most recent X-Men film, which was Dark Phoenix, with the whole Jean Grey storyline, was a really big disappointment. I know from a business perspective, it did not do well at all.
Yeah. And then you have here in your notes that Tom Holland's contract with Marvel includes 6 pictures.
Yes.
Which he has 5 already, right?
Yeah, so basically, I believe he has one more film under his contract.
He has to do, yeah.
But from a tweet that I read was that like Sony, or those are the films that Sony has agreed to with the
Marvel, with
the MCU. I would be stunned if that did not get extended.
I feel like it has to.
Yes.
So he's already done Civil War, Homecoming, Infinity War, Endgame, Far From Home, and so he has one more Spider-Man in his contract as of now.
Yeah.
And do we have anything?
I think we pretty much covered everything from the.
We have the dates here for Black Widow. This screenshot from thing I forgot to mention: May 1st, 2020, Black Widow. Internals, November 5th, 2020. Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings, the full name, February 12th, 2021. Do we have May 7th, 2021 for Doctor Strange? I believe
the
that's
low
it.
key series in
It's spring. Yeah.
yeah.
What If? It's summer of 2021. And we do have a date for Thor: Love and Thunder, November 5th, 2021. We didn't mention it before. If anything else at a Comic-Con.
Yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything, and that was a lot of stuff there. They just rolled out announcement after announcement last weekend.
Which was impressive. You just get on Twitter and it's just this. Holy crap!
Yeah.
And was there announced? And I should have looked, a new like Captain Picard like series with.
I can't recall.
I swear I saw like a trailer, and I should have saw it. Oh well.
Speaking of trailers, what'd you think of the Mr. Rogers trailer?
If any of you didn't know, watching on the YouTube, I don't know why I said the YouTube. Mr. Rogers, that was filmed here. We're in Pittsburgh, in the outskirts of Pittsburgh. It was filmed here, and so he's near and dear to everybody's hearts here around the area.
A mega baby face in Pittsburgh.
To use a wrestling term.
Yep.
I watched it, and I think it was really, really good. I think Tom Hanks, fantastic,
the absolute perfect casting.
Fantastic actor.
Yeah.
I know that technically the voice is not really it, but it's damn close. You couldn't ask for anybody else to play him.
Just the reactions and the comments that I was reading on Twitter.
People crying.
People were just emotional and crying, and just like so many people lived through him.
I grew up.
Yep.
I watched it like coming home from school, or even I forget, but I watched them. It was good.
I'm just like it's going to be a really, I think, a tearjerker for a lot of people,
especially here. Yeah.
Especially here.
Probably, yeah. Everybody around the country.
Well, yeah.
I think it looks good. I read I don't know if it was an interview or whatever, that the director of the movie, she brought in, I don't know if it was the actual cameras or close to the old time cameras they filmed the show with.
Yeah.
So when they do like the scenes you see in the trailer, that those are like the actual cameras, so it actually looks like you're watching the show, which that's the attention to detail is good.
Mm-hmm.
The set looks good.
Mm-hmm.
They used, I know it's not the real puppets they are using, but good replicas they got made up.
Yep.
And they had like stage managers or old cameramen that worked on the show, and they said they looked at the puppets and they're like, "Where'd you get those?" But they were just made so good.
Yeah,
good attention to detail. It looks good.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't wait to see that when it comes out. I want to go see it.
Yeah, it's coming out. I believe on the week of Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a good holiday movie, and that should do well.
Yep.
Anything else you want to talk about from Comic-Con?
No, I think
we want to move on.
I think I'm ready to talk about some professional wrestling.
Professional wrestling.
And boy, I have a lot to get off of my chest.
I can go and make some food and let him go off. So we are big professional wrestling fans. So we like to watch WWE, the new AEW promotion, and dabble in New Japan, Ring of Honor, and Impact.
I'll just
wrestling in general.
Yeah. And I have been watching wrestling since the Attitude Era days. 1998 was the first time that I ever watched professional wrestling. Grew up on Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, DX, Triple H, Kane, Undertaker, like pretty much all of those guys. I grew up on. So
I came in a little bit later at I believe I want to say mid to late 2001, just in time for the. I know it's before the Invasion pay-per-view, all that, but I think after. I can vividly remember after when after WWE bought WCW.
Yeah.
I remember watching TV. I came across it. I don't know. I don't even know if it was Raw or SmackDown or Nitro for that matter.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing something I can't remember, and it caught my attention. It wasn't even like wrestling, I don't think. But I don't know, it caught my attention. I just got caught on.
Well, like my dad, he would like watch it every now and then. Like he would just pop up whether it was either Raw or like Nitro. Like I have early memories of seeing Sting and Goldberg and just all of those guys back in WCW, and just seeing Austin with like Rock and like Vince, like just those larger than life characters just gravitated towards me at such an early age. Right. And like and it was so like with the content, like as a kid I kind of had to like sneak around it and actually watch it because as an 8-year-old kid, like my parents were not really exactly thrilled about me watching
back in the day.
Absolutely. Like they did not hold
what they were doing.
They were doing anything and everything back then. Like they did not care how risque that it looked. Like they just went at it, and those ratings were just incredible.
And we're going to talk about ratings and stuff in a little bit, probably after his tirade coming up. But moving on to this past Monday, we had the Raw reunion where they brought wrestlers and legends, if you will, from the past to be on the show. And I'll just let you take it off from there because I know you have something to say.
Yeah, so I will say this. It was awesome seeing guys such as Austin. It was awesome seeing DX, the Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, the Godfather. Like it was all awesome really seeing all of those guys. But I feel like that although it was cool to see these guys, what really stuck to me was just how little of current stars that this company currently has right now. And I
can't argue that point.
It's so glaring, and it's such a big issue with the current product because, like, you know, you look at guys like AJ and Seth, and you know, and like you hear what their reactions are, and then like you'll hear like guys such as say Rikishi or the Godfather, or Flair, or pretty much any past legend. It's just it kind of just something. It sent home that point. Like
I feel like a lot of it too. I mean, part of it is that like nostalgia. Like if
for sure, but
you come back if you don't see somebody for a long time, and you like them, and they come back. I'm not dismissing your point at all.
No, but
it's a lot too. But I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here.
But also from an interview and from a promo level skill, like that Stone Cold Steve Austin segment. Like that is the type of stuff that I really miss in professional wrestling. It's just
got to get away from the scripted promos.
Yeah, like get away from the scripted promos and like guys who just have such a connection with the audience. Well, like as Steve Austin did, it felt so authentic. It felt so real, and those are two of the things that are really missing with the current product.
And apparently Kevin Owens, who's on SmackDown, if you don't know who Kevin Owens is, check him out. Apparently they are just giving him bullet points and letting him cut his own promos without any scripts, which you can easily tell.
Yeah, which that is a good start. Which this has been something, and if you guys have not seen this, John Moxley really brought up that point.
Formerly Dean Ambrose.
Formerly Dean Ambrose really brought up that point on Chris Jericho's podcast, which is talking about just how hard that the creative structure is backstage. And I mean, it's pretty obvious when the shows are being rewritten right before the show starts. Like there's just too much micromanaging, and that starts all the way at the very top, and we all know who that is.
Overall, the show. I had another point to bring up, and I forgot. I remember. This past SmackDown, talking about scripted promos.
Mandy Rose and
yes.
And, oh my God. Like, if we win this match, we will have a tag team title shot.
You mean Sonya goes, so we're gonna have a tag team title shot, and then Manny goes, if we win, we have a match for the tag team championships, and then Manny goes, if we win, we have a shot at the tag team championships. And I watched it live, it didn't hit me at first. I went, wait a minute, it doesn't make any sense. Like, wait, did she just?
I'm like, because I'm going to assume that these were probably pre-taped. How in the hell did no one see this?
Maybe it was live. Maybe they tried it live. I felt like
typically,
if it was pre-taped, they would have caught it.
If this was pre-taped, I'm going to ask.
There's no way.
If this was pre-taped, how did not one producer say, hey, like maybe we should reshoot that because that doesn't make any damn sense.
I feel like it had to be live. Something got screwed up.
I would hope that was live, because if that wasn't, that, by God, like,
I was like, ooh,
that was bad. But
yeah.
but something else that I wanted to bring up from Raw was the segments with the 24/7 title. That was a really those were really entertaining segments.
Best part of the show.
Easily the best part of the show to me. Just R-Truth and
Drake Maverick
and his hot ass wife. Like just anything involving those three were just amazing and entertaining segments. Like having
Drake out kicked his coverage.
Yeah, like with him.
I'm not jealous or anything.
But with him and involving Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe, the Stooges, that was awesome. I mean, like it was just it just stands out from the rest of the show that it's just so monotonous and just like it's just consistently the same. And I feel that is why with these 24/7 segments, they are consistently doing really well
on YouTube, especially.
Oh yeah,
and watching it because
absolutely
it's old school hardcore title without it being hardcore. Mm-hmm. Basically, what it is.
Yep.
Without chairs and stuff, and it is what it is, and that was so entertaining back in the day, and I'm glad they're doing it. Mm-hmm. And there's a story going on between Drake and his wife and getting married, and what you do after the marriage.
Let the man have sex with his wife. You freaking a-hole.
Oh man, I'm leaving that in. That's funny. Yeah, R-Truth is turning heel.
Oh, he's absolutely the heel.
I want Renee to win the title so bad.
Have sex on the title. A live sex celebration right in the ring on the title, or with like Jake with Drake Maverick. I'm consummating the marriage.
You done? Oh my God. I kind of want to leave that too.
And the crowd. This is awesome. This is awesome.
Take that, AEW. Take that, AEW. Can't beat that. Speaking of which,
It's finally happened.
They have their announced day when they're going to start their weekly television series. You like that segue?
Oh,
By the way, that was a good segue.
It was perfect.
It is, I believe, October 2nd.
Yep.
On TNT.
From 8 until 10 p.m. Live every week.
I'm interested. I can't wait. It's another show. There's high hopes.
And also they're airing their very first taping at the Capital One Arena in Washington D.C., which is by far their biggest arena that they've tried to.
I think what they have to do. They have to, and I think was it Jericho. I think he had an interview. Jericho did that. Said you got to start small. They don't expect to be.
I feel like that like they definitely are not going to be doing this every single week. It's just for the very first TV taping. I'm perfectly fine with it, but I think after this
you got to drop smaller and work your way up.
Like I think like 5 to 8,000 to 8,000 seated arenas is like perfectly fine.
Almost like in a way. Like when Monday Night Raw went on the air, they were in, they were probably way smaller than what AEW is going to be, but still, they got small arenas in Manhattan Center, and then they're now in big arenas like hockey arenas in major towns.
Well, they can do small college basketball arenas too, like and like. Yeah, and Tony Khan even said this that that at that theater in Jacksonville where they had Fight for the Fallen at, they're gonna be airing some more TV there in the future, which I feel that is a very good looking set. It's definitely different, which I think is always a plus because that is another criticism about the WWE. It's just like everything looks exactly the same. It's good to have a different looking stage. I
feel like they might, with this Fox deal, can't speak. I feel like they might have to do that because Fox is really like.
And you can
more involved than I don't want to say more involved, but than USA and NBC.
When you're dishing out $8 billion, and I think it's abundantly clear, and this is that this is something that they never did with the UFC, is like they are way more hands on, whereas with the UFC they were pretty much out of it, or not as hands on. But you could just tell, like they want certain people and they want the product presented in a certain way. Like we have heard rumors of them possibly wanting Daniel Cormier as a commentator, who is the current UFC heavyweight champion. But
he's a big wrestling fan.
Yeah, he's a huge wrestling fan, which I feel like he would be a very interesting addition. I'm not sure how well that he would do, especially with like Vince constantly in his ear. I'm not exactly sure how he would take to that, because knowing how DC is, he doesn't like really being like micromanaged. I feel like that would definitely be something that I would definitely be concerned in regards with him.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I think he could just, for example, I think he can have a good chemistry with Corey Graves on SmackDown.
Yeah.
I think Corey works well with anybody.
I will say
Cormier
though,
could be a good like babyface one. But I think better than Brian Saxton. I messed up his first name. I have nothing against him, but I think he just brings legitimacy to professional wrestling on SmackDown on Fox. Even though we all know about how professional wrestling works, I can't talk today. That it's not actually happening per se. So I think that's going to help. And then Corey Graves can be that like heel king commentator almost.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to work well. Will they do it? Who knows?
But I will say though, in regards with AEW, that is probably, in my opinion, by far their biggest weakness is their commentary team. Like no offense to Jim Ross, he's, in my opinion, the greatest play-by-play commentator ever. But he's 67 years old, and you can just tell he just doesn't have it anymore. Like there are just too many times where he looks lost, he looks confused. It just, like, in my opinion, he's been carried through his first set of shows with Excalibur, and my God, Alex Marvez, he's terrible. Okay, like I've never seen a guy who shows less emotion during a broadcast. You would think that you are watching some golf tournament or something like that. It's way too monotone. I think that is something that they really need to address as they start going into TV weekly. I do feel like, and I do wonder how long that they are going to keep with JR.
I think they're going to. Yeah, they might keep. I think it's just touch and go. So you got to feel their way through. And it's, to me, it's too early yet. I don't know. That's just me.
I mean, like I have just seen. I've seen enough from JR prior to his start with AEW. I mean, like, you just even saw him in the Mae Young Classic. He was struggling really, really badly there too. So I mean,
I think at least with this the 3-man team, that it feels like to me, he's not like back when he was in the WWE. It was like him most of the time. King or whoever would chime in, and he would just call it. Now it just seems like, to me, almost like a color commentator type of role, that he'll speak a little bit here, and then Excalibur says some stuff too, and then the third guy chimes in. I think he works well. I think the Mae Young was there two people?
It was him and Lita.
And Lita.
Yeah, which oh God, that was rough.
I think he works better with two people, two-man booth.
Well, yeah,
because you're trying to get everybody
in his career.
Maybe,
absolutely.
But maybe he could do. I don't know.
I just
not
think
the same. I think he's still good.
I think they need.
I don't want to criticize because who am I?
I mean, like, I would rather have, say, a Tony Schiavone, because to me, even though he is older, he still has the excitement in his voice. And like, if you have seen any of the AEW video packages that have been leading up to,
I didn't watch those yet.
Yeah, to either Fyre Fest or Fight for the Fallen, or even for All Out, like, he just adds a certain dimension to with the build. Like, more specifically with him, I'm building up for Cody and Dustin versus the Young Bucks, which it just had such an old school mentality that just got you just more excited, more into seeing these matches.
Right. Anything else on AEW and you have there? I don't know what you have on yours.
Okay. The on the build for All Out, like, and I would highly recommend you seeing this.
I have to. I didn't get a chance.
It's
to yet.
Just like, and it's just so apparent. Like, there is a storyline involved in, like, most of, or not all of these matches. Like, whether it's Cody versus Shawn Spears, which Shawn Spears is now being managed by Tully Blanchard.
He used to be Ty Dillinger,
Yeah.
Perfect 10
Yep.
in WWE.
And like they are playing off of that whole feud with like Dusty and like Tully when Tully was in the Four Horsemen. Like they're tying all of that in, and then like you have other stuff such as Kenny versus John Moxley, which John Moxley, ever since he has left WWE, if you have seen any of his matches in the G1, have been just incredible. Like, you would have never have thought that this guy even existed. Like, it just really showed me just how badly that like he was just out of his element in WWE, because now he is working more as a brawler and like less as a finesse or an athletics specimen. It's just like every match feels like a fight, and it's been really good stuff from Moxley.
Right. I agree 100%. So October 2nd, can't wait. It's almost here.
Yeah.
It's almost August, as of this recording. So moving on, recently the Q2 numbers and information come out, and it's interesting to see like how like television ratings and social media and all that stuff is with different companies. And I gave you this PDF. This is from Wrestlenomics. I found this gentleman on the Twitter. Why I keep saying the Twitter?
It's Twitter.
It's Twitter.
Twitter.
I know. I'm used to saying that, joking around, and now I keep using it. So this is the website or the PDF, Wrestlenomics. This is about WWE and pro wrestling Q2 this year info sheet, and this was compiled by Brandon Thurston. If I butcher that, I don't know how I can butcher that. There it is. He's on Twitter. I think he writes for Fightful.com, or has some pieces. There was a piece there the other day. I saw this. And here's the website and everything for you. And going in on the first page here is television viewership and rights. I found interesting. And on the top here is Raw, and the bottom is SmackDown, red and blue. As you can see, from 2000, at least from 2006 to 2019, I believe, I forget what P2 stands for, but I believe this is 3,605,000 people, 3.6 million. And as the year went on, viewership declined, not by a lot per se, but it went down. But from 2006, if you go Q1 of 2006 to now,
I think you mean 2016 there, Matt.
I do, 2016. I'm sorry. Yeah. Man, I'm out of it. Yeah, 2016. I apologize. To 2019. I don't know why I had a southern twang to 2019. 3.6 to 2.3, about 2.4 million. And then the heavily sought after 18 to 49 demographic,
which they have been really struggling with as
so from
lately.
1.28 in 2016 to Q1 to 0.80 this past quarter. And then looking at SmackDown, again, same time frame from Q1 2016, 2.4 million, about 2.5 to just around 2 million now. So, and then the 18 to 49 demographic rating, 0.76 to 0.64. It's kind of different because it kind of went up and it's kind of everywhere. So it hasn't really dropped all that off, but it's still a drop nonetheless. Excuse me. There's an interesting note here with the 18 to 49 rankings. It says the rankings among other cable programs on the same night remain stable, and that these declines are likely worse than that of U.S. television overall. So, as of Q1 2019 of this year, obviously, top 25 cable ratings have suffered single-digit declines. So, I'm interpreting this as, if I'm not mistaken, is that WWE's ratings have really fallen off compared to everybody else, and that should be concerning to them.
And the bigger issue is that they really haven't done anything to try and to rectify these issues. It seems like they are just hoping by them just doing the same thing over and over again that it's just going to magically bring back their audience there.
They're trying some stuff in the form of trying to get I think they're getting edgier compared to what they've been doing in the past. They hired Bischoff, they hired Heyman to run creative on SmackDown and Raw respectively.
And they are, but like, I mean, like,
you get that with those changes, you get to see what happens. But
it just like, I mean, the one thing that I'm seeing on a consistent weekly basis are definitely repeated matches. Like hell, for this upcoming Raw, they have announced again Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns in a Samoan summit. They have Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins again, and they have Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss again. Like, I just don't know what they are thinking here. Like, how is this going to entice people to want to come back and watch your shows? Like, this is just complacency. This is laziness. And before we forget too, we are almost 2 weeks away from SummerSlam, the supposed second biggest show of the year. And I mean, like, it's very concerning. It's very, very disappointing to where this company is currently at.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in the future. I mean, some of these things you got to be patient about, but I've been patient a long time.
We have been patient for a very long time with this company, and until they start doing something, like, I think it's really hard to give them any sort of the benefit of the doubt here.
So let's move on to WWE Network subscriptions and other media. So basically, it came out in 2014, and it's been growing and kind of been keeping the status quo. I can't
from this
chart
from this past year or from 2018, where it looks like that they had a 1,800,000, and now it's at what?
It's projected. I think I got the PowerPoint from their WWE's earning, but as of this, it was projected to be 1.7, so it would be a loss of 100,000, which, I mean, it's not like they dropped like 1 million people.
No, but like they have dropped what, at least 300,000 from the second quarter of 2018.
Just shy of 300,000,
which to me is kind of concerning. Like, I mean, that's a lot of people in a very short amount of time there, you know.
Yeah, and I'm not much of an analyst, so
neither
if people are watching this and seeing this, I don't know.
I mean, maybe that is like normal, but I mean, like, I mean, 300,000 in just a little over a full calendar year. Just a little bit concerning to me.
I don't. I want to see what like numbers of like Netflix or whatever happens like year in year out.
Mm-hmm.
How much do they lose? Because I'm sure it's not just bam, 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 straight up.
No.
I want to.
I actually think from their last quarter that they had a pretty disappointing quarter.
Yeah. So I think it.
From
I don't know if this is just a WB thing. I doubt it is. But and then on the chart here, as you're seeing, subscribers the day after WrestleMania, they've been going up pretty much since 2014, and then a slight decline going into 2019. The top, like beige, is free, and the bottom is paid. So they had, as of this year after WrestleMania, 0.23 million free subscribers and 1.77 million of paid. Moving on to one of the big things people talk about here, you can see, is live event attendance. The Green's 2016, and you can read it. And they just have numbers for up to quarter one, because the quarter two numbers, as of this report, did not come out. But I think I have the earnings and stuff for WWE. And I kind of want to go through this real quick because this is not.
Yeah, like.
But
I don't think that we should like.
But this is kind of interesting to see how WWE. We were talking about WWE and stuff. That the show is not as good as it was a couple years ago, and we're putting numbers to this. So just live attendance, event attendance from 2016. We just look at quarter one because we have all 4 years. 6,100, and then it's been going down to 4,800
pretty consistently too,
and it's been going down in all 4 quarters. Compare that with New Japan's paid attendance. Average paid attendance has been going not nearly as much as WWE, of course, but has been going up.
Mm-hmm.
It's gaining traction.
And speaking of
worldwide and in America.
And speaking of them, they just sold out a Hammerstein Ballroom in like New York, which is it's very telling to how bad things are going with Ring of Honor right now, because I'm not sure that if you saw, but they had a pay-per-view, I believe last weekend or 2 weekends ago. That whole balcony of the Hammerstein Ballroom didn't even sell.
Yeah.
Like the fact that with New Japan that they sold out in a matter of like minutes upon the sale is very telling as to how bad things are.
This next chart here is Ring of Honor's average attendance. That's been it's went down from this year quarter one to last year's quarter one.
Yep.
And the jump from quarter two, as you can see here, mainly probably from that Madison Square Garden show with New Japan. And there's a bullet point here. Here it was right here. I'm showing with a reported attendance of 16,534, which both of us were in attendance. It was the highest attendance in the U.S. for a non-WWE event in many years. But if you exclude WrestleMania weekend events, from Ring of Honor's average attendance for quarter two is 835, down 30% from the previous year.
And that is a clear effect of Cody, Adam Page, Pucks, all of them leaving. Like them leaving the Elite leaving killed Ring of Honor's business because they were easily their biggest draws.
Yeah.
And they really have not recovered ever since then.
And then this last bullet point here talking about AEW. They've held 3 events to date in Las Vegas, attended by 11,000, Daytona Beach 4,200, and Jacksonville 5,000. And with the event for the August 31st in Illinois, it sold out about 10,400 tickets in minutes.
Yep.
So there you go. The hype for AEW's
Yep.
there, and Ring of Honor is just either declining or staying
Ring of Honor
kind of status quo.
Ring of Honor is slowly getting into Impact territory as far as not being able to even draw the smallest venues now. It's really concerning because they have to be losing a lot of money by them not even being able to even have fill these venues here.
And then merchandise sales, real quick. I'm not going to get all day into it. For WWE have gone down most of the time, quarterly comparisons, but quarter 2 of this year it would have been a yellow bar. Quarter 2 probably up because of WrestleMania, he says, but going down slightly, nothing drastically, but going down nonetheless. Moving on. YouTube views. WWE is a big YouTube channel, ton of views, as you can see here. Kind of been up and down. They have WB have Impact on the right here. It's been okay. It's been breaking 125 million this year. They've been going up. New Japan's interesting. They've been steadily going up. I believe it's gained more traction here in the U.S. And Ring of Honor was up in 2018 and then falling down this year. 2018, you had, like you said, you had the Young Bucks, you had Cody.
And what's also really happening, something that's really helping New Japan right now are guys like John Moxley being in the G1, and when you have guys like Jericho, more people who are well known, it's going to help with their business, because I know when they did Jericho versus Kenny, when Kenny was still with New Japan, they had I think at least 25,000 more subscribers to their streaming service. So those aspects have had a clear effect on New Japan's business.
And then moving on to Google searches real quick. WWE, I don't know how to read the top chart, but the one with the big purple line, that's WWE. It really destroys the competition with searches, but has been on the decline since 2016. And that little yellow spike there is AEW, which is no surprise. And it's kind of going up at the end, but we'll see what happens. But WWE clear winner in that, because that's the main king. Another interesting one, and I think I'm going to finish it here. I don't know what's left. Yeah, that's the last big thing, is Google web search trend lines. You can see which one is which between New Japan, Impact, AEW, and ROH. Impact steadily declining since beginning of 2016, but look at the end there with AEW, spiked beginning of this year. Yep. So they're
they are the
winner.
They are the clear number 2 in this country now. I don't think that there is any debate when it comes to
Ring of Honor is red. It's status quo. Yep. And New Japan is kind of going up, but not as big as AEW. So they have a lot going for them right now. So, and I'm gonna take a quick look at the WWE's statement. A big thing they're showing in their statement from April to June is their ratings from Raw and SmackDown. So this is WWE numbers that they're giving us. These numbers, television ratings, these are minus losing percentages. They're not gaining. even their decline is slowing down from losing 14% to losing 8%. It's still negative. They're still going down, but I guess they're slowing down. What they're trying to portray here is that the decline's stopping, and maybe they're reversing it. We'll see. We'll see when the numbers come in. And then even attendance is down in America is still down, but not as much. So, again, another thing we have to watch and see if this trend continues or it still goes down. Revenue is slightly down from a year ago. So everything is mostly down in revenue. So that's and concerning.
Unless things begin to actually change here, I see no reason why any of this will improve here. Just the product needs to get better. That is where everything starts and ends at.
Yeah. So that's pretty much. I didn't want to get too much in financial stuff because nobody cares, but the big thing was the ratings and maybe money overall into the company. So, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, something else that I wanted to talk about was with AEW going over and starting on October 2nd. It's being heavily reported that because this as a counter move to AEW going live, that NXT will be going unofficially to or reportedly
FS1.
to Fox Sports 1, and someone tweeted to Dave Meltzer asking if this were to actually happen, will like Vince have more of an input into the NXT brand, and like he said, it could be very, very possible. And if that does happen, if he is involved in any shape or form with NXT, AEW will kick their ass.
Yeah, I hope not.
They will beat them, because from what Vince has been giving us for the past 10 or 5 to 10 to 15 years, what
I think 15 is a little bit strong.
But like you get what I'm saying. But like, I feel like that would be a death sentence to the NXT brand, because I really hope that they don't go from 1 to 2 hours, because I feel like that it's perfect just being 1 hour. That's all that you need, because now if you go to 2 hours, there is now more TV to fill, and that leads possibly more to overexposing your current talent. And also, it's being rumored that they might be including more of fucking main roster guys, which I'm not sure how I feel about that, because
see, if they do it like it is now, maybe the main roster guys can do more down there than any limitations they have up in the main roster. So it could be good. I can see you're unsure, and that's perfectly okay. As long as it's not crossover in terms of stories and on the main,
and
like
that's kind of what I'm being concerned about. Is,
I don't know.
Like, I mean, like to me, like they would be really hurting the integrity of NXT just to stick it to AEW, which I think just like WWE they want to pick a fight with a new up and coming company at the possible expense of NXT, which is arguably their most consistently good brand right now.
But I think overall, what I think is they're trying to, in a way, I'm glad they're worried about AEW, because if they thought, okay, okay, it's just another company, who cares, and they don't do anything, then you don't want the same status quo. Now with them, like anything AEW does, it's like, oh, we got to do something.
Well,
keep trying to force them to do stuff. Will it work? We don't know yet.
Well, that kind has already happened with both of the guys and the girls are getting way bigger contract offers now. Like some are making at least $500,000 a year now, which is crazy. And like these are just undercard guys. I can only imagine what AJ Styles got in his current new deal. I mean, like you have to figure he's getting what, at least two
or Gallows and Anderson.
Gallows and Anderson, like if anything, AEW has really changed the whole business model.
And Braun Strowman
yep, he got re-signed, and I believe that this summer that had like Finn Balor's contract is up.
It might be, I don't know.
If not by the summer, then definitely by the fall.
But the point being is, if your contract is up, you have leverage.
Well,
if you're at some like
point
in the high point in the company, you're doing good. You have leverage. Be like, I can just go AEW.
Exactly.
And if you don't want me, okay.
And two, like they, like, you know, no one should be re-signing with like 2 or 3 years left on your contract. They should be waiting until at least
at least
few
a
months.
year,
yeah,
or half a year.
Yes,
put that leverage in your court. Because you sign in 2 years in contract. That's like that's in any sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why sell yourself short there? You know,
like any athlete. I'm just coming to basketball or baseball with free agency.
Mm-hmm.
You have a good season, you test free agency, and teams are just throwing money at you because you had a good season. You're like, well, can you match that? No, I'm taking the money, and I don't blame them.
And even AJ said in an interview, he considered hitting free agency, but I just think with him specifically, it was more of wanting to actually to just get paid. You know, he's 40. Yeah, he's on 40 now.
Yeah, he's getting up there in age. Mm-hmm. He has a family, and
he's even stated that this is probably his last wrestling contract, which I believe was a 5-year deal. So what, in 5 years they'll be 2024. So
40.
Yeah. So
4.
Yeah. So he'll be
whatever, mid-40s.
Yeah. He'll be 44 or 45 at that point, which I believe that was the age where Shawn Michaels retired. So
he hasn't made it.
Yeah.
It's up to him.
But
he's doing good.
But I mean, it just from a business perspective for the wrestlers, it's the absolute best time. The only problem is they still can't get any health care or anything, but that's a completely different.
Yeah, we don't want to. I don't want to get into that because.
Yeah.
Anything else you have in mind to talk about? I'm all.
Have you heard about this trend that was going on during Raw? Give WWE women a chance. Sorry. Now, okay, this was a Raw reunion show. 1 week.
Yes, thank you.
1 week that they don't have a women's match. This is somehow a freaking uproar. The main event of WrestleMania included Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair. This is where we are at right now. This irritated me so bad. What else do you people want?
They had their own pay-per-view last year.
They had their own
Royal Rumble. They have their own Elimination Chamber match. They have their own Money in the Bank match. Give him a
They
chance.
have done everything. Okay, I don't want to hear people getting so upset because of a Raw reunion show that was about the legends and not about the. Oh God.
It's a reunion. It's a reunion
It's
show.
a reunion show.
What's 1 week? Now, if it's every week, okay, you have a problem. That's why the Give Divas a Chance hashtag was good, because every week it was like,
well, yeah, because
a minute matches and nothing was going on,
and there were no storylines or anything that actually mattered.
Take 5 years ago. 5 years ago, is that a good gap? 5 years ago, compared to now, vastly different. There's storylines.
Like Nikki Bella as champion, who God bless her, she suffered a horrific injury, but she was wrestling in like 1, 2, or 3 minute matches that like no one cared about, and how they never gave the fans a reason to care about.
And there's more of a reason to, like you said, there's more of a reason to care now. There are storylines.
Where did all of that start at? Back in NXT.
Yes.
You can
nitpick and argue about storylines all you want, but at least there's something there.
Yep.
There's good athletes. Not saying the women back in the day were not good athletes, but it's a hell of a lot better than pillow fights and lingerie matches. Which for the young adults in the crowd were like, oh, look at these attractive women, but there's no way that they liked it deep down inside.
Well, that was different back in the,
my opinion,
in the Attitude Era. That
in part of the ruthless aggression.
Yeah, that fit in those eras. Now
you can't. No, you can't.
More fans want a more sport-oriented product where the women are being taken seriously. Now, I am not saying not every woman should be a wrestler like Lana, Zelina Vega. They're not every woman needs to get inside of that ring. Or
even, to be fair, not every man.
Exactly.
Look at
Elias is definitely should be one of those guys who shouldn't. That shouldn't.
You know what? I think he should. I don't think he's given enough time in the ring.
I would disagree with that, but
I don't think he's bad in the ring. I don't think he has enough time.
I'm not saying that he's terrible. I'm just saying by him doing that, he is just like everyone else, Whereas a guy,
but he still has that. But he still has that gimmick though, that he can go out, sing, and talk crap about whoever.
But then you look at someone such as Drake Maverick.
Well, he fits. He's good there. He wasn't really
exactly. He stands out from everyone else there.
Elias is kind of to me in a rut now. Since he moved to SmackDown, it was okay on Raw before the move, but I don't know. I feel like he's got more of a push. He doesn't have to be a WWE champion, but I feel like he could be a mid-carder that can wrestle and have that gimmick to be more than just the singing guy and the lackey. I think he could be more than that. He's better, but like Drake, I think you could have an opinion. Maybe he's not the best in the ring, but he's just good at what he does now. But the point being is that not every person needs to be in the ring. No. You could be effective outside in different ways. Mm-hmm. So yeah, in that point I agree.
Another thing that I want to touch. Vince McMahon he gave some comments about all elite wrestling that blood and guts organization apparently because apparently they are CZW or
ECW
or ECW here. They had 2 or 3 hardcore matches on three shows total.
I think a lot of that has to do with he's I don't know if that. Does he believe that, or he's just saying that to appease the shareholders? Corporate thing.
Honestly, it's probably that.
It's probably both. It could be both.
And two, I just don't think that he has a damn clue in hell. Like you do not look at AEW and think blood and guts. Like outside of Cody versus Dustin and Joey Janela versus John Moxley. Maybe there was another match that I'm forgetting, but there's they are the furthest thing from a blood and guts organization, and it just highlights just how out of the loop.
Yeah, I think that's just Vince. I think that's just Vince, just being Vince and saying that just to appease everybody.
I'm sure.
I think that's just him talking because he can and just gets competition.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Okay, and one last thing I wanted to talk about was my good buddy Seth Rollins, who just can't seem to shut the hell up when it comes to the interview process.
I'm just gonna sit back and drink this water.
Okay, so he had some more comments about John Moxley because apparently John Moxley is taking food off of his table because he did not re-sign with WWE. Newsflash, dude, he didn't quit. He let his contract run out and he went elsewhere because he got tired of everything that was going on in this godforsaken company. Whew.
Speaking of food, where's the food on our table?
Yeah. Well, maybe later. But
maybe okay.
But it just like I truly wonder like how the company truly feels about him going out and being a spokesman for the company because to me you look at a John Cena. He was a perfect guy who would represent the company how they would want the company to be presented to the outside media. And same thing with Roman Reigns. It just seems like he is failing really bad and is being really exposed as like he is not a top guy, I believe, in the WWE. What do you think about that, Matt?
To put a counterpoint to what you're saying, and I agree with most of the stuff with the food on the table thing. Yeah. But I feel like if he's doing that and just being so much of a parent, it looks like a company guy defending the company, I think he might be a good person to go out there. If it's in a media controlled environment and not social media or anything.
No, like and that is the actual issue. It's like not just on social media. He's talking with like Sports Illustrated or whomever, and he's coming off way more arrogant, way more like I just think like he looks like a guy who is frustrated. That is frustrated that the pressure is getting that the pressure is getting to him, and that like he's trying to hold on to his spot as best as he can. But man, like whether it was him with and I'm not sure if you know this, his girlfriend is Becky Lynch.
What?
Yeah. So
what?
between that whole like nonsense or like his comments with like against Will Ospreay, comparing bank accounts instead of their actual craft. Just like it has given him a really bad look, and I'm not sure if you haven't seen, he's been getting more and more of a like a mixed reaction with the crowd. So I definitely feel like these comments are starting to really piss off the internet, Marks.
Yeah, well, maybe. Yeah. So, I mean, my philosophy is I just try to keep quiet and just let it happen because there's no point in saying anything.
You're way too much of a babyface, Matt.
I am too much of a baby face. I am the baby face.
Embrace your aggressive feelings. Meow.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was a good impression or a bad impression.
That probably is going to sound horrible when I watch this over.
I am keeping that in so everybody can make fun of you in the
That's
comments.
what she said.
Speaking of comments, don't forget to leave comments. Tell us how you like the show. Give us a thumbs up. And subscribe if you haven't already.
Yeah, subscribe to the Matt and John Make a podcast. We're going to try and to do these weekly. We are not going to be talking about professional wrestling every single week, but
or try not to.
Yeah, but if
a lot happened. This week.
A lot happened this week. So with this podcast specifically, there's going to be a lot of wrestling talk, but we're going to be talking current events, not so much politics, but sports, football, baseball, basketball, hockey,
MMA,
here and there, we will probably even do podcasts after All Out for the
big events,
shows.
maybe even
SummerSlam possibly. We'll see how that goes.
Maybe even stuff like Super Bowl or
Super Bowl,
like a World Series or whatever, something like that. If it's big enough and we want to talk about it right away. But if there's anything you want us to talk about that we missed, or you want to hear our opinions, leave it down in the comments below, and we'll try to get to it in future episodes. So with that, John, it's been nice to having this. It was a good first episode.
Yeah,
can't wait to do more.
Better than last week, where that was
our first pre-show.
Technical difficulties led to that.
I had to get this new computer because my old computer sucked and couldn't even edit. Yeah. So with that, we're going to sign out and have a good one.